welcome to the Unmasked podcast. Today we have a very special guest, someone that I admire, especially in the business world, Rachel Gough.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. Did you want to tell us a bit about you, Rachel? I know about you, but
Well,
Who is Rachel?
Who's Rachel Gough?
you kind of mentioned like the business thing, so I'm a marketeer. I've been marketing for over 20 years. I love it. Can't believe that I get paid to do something that I love. And at the moment I work 1 day a week at the LC Whiteley Centre and I organise the hot networking. So I'm kind of like an interim marketing manager, so if somebody's off long-term sick, if they're off on maternity, if they've got a special project, then I kind of come in like Mary Poppins, deliver it, and then
Pull everything out of the
go.
bag.
Hey, this is a bit of a off bat. My daughter broke my mum's umbrella the other day. So my wife's bought her a new one, but she's bought her the Mary Poppins umbrella
With the parrot on top?
With the parrot's head on top. Yeah.
Are you bringing that into work?
I can bring it into work if you want. It definitely makes it it's completely different when you love what you're doing, isn't it?
Oh yeah, 100%. I could never exchange time for money.
Mm.
You know, like I look at some people and they just look so bored. It's like they've already died.
Yeah.
It's been a godsend for me, especially to be working now with two of my really close friends, Doug and Robin. I loved what I did before. I've come from a background of council tax, and I loved it, but I know.
Okay.
So like council tax, housing benefits, sort of like customer service role, but sort of dealing with everything. And I did really enjoy it, but I think it was the people aspect, you know, being in front of people and talking to people and having that support as well. And then, but being able to come to work with your friend or just doing something that you're really passionate about, like for you, marketing, for us is mental health and trying to make other people's life, you know, easier.
Yeah.
And
It's the same for me.
It's really passionate that we're really passionate about it. So
Same for me. I come from sales, and people. I like meeting people. I enjoy meeting people. But then when you've got all the paperwork to do with it afterwards, you're like, oh god, no. My van's not turned up or whatever. But yeah, doing what we're doing now, I love it. It's I won't go back.
That's one of the reasons that I'm self-employed, so that I can volunteer. So I'm a non-executive director of 2 CICs and a trustee, and it gives you that freedom to be able to work with people that you like, and it's not all about the money, it's about being able to help other people. Yeah, definitely. As everyone knows, this podcast is all about mental health, and it's about as weeks and about ourselves and how has weeks been and stuff like that. So
how's your week been?
All right, we'll start with me. My week. So my weekend has been pretty tough. Just been really drained. It's just been physically hard. Just from being in the Netherlands and then coming back, just working and. Usually we finish on quite a good end to the week. Fridays are usually really, really positive, and this week it's just been really tough, and it didn't really end on a positive for me. It just sort of ended neutral, and we didn't get that buzz at the end of the week. So it sort of followed into the weekend, and it was really tough, just being really tired, then having my daughter, my wife, and wanting to go out and do stuff and things like that. But then it on Sunday it ended with a positive. We went to the Halifax
Community kitchen.
Homeless and community kitchen. So that was a good end to the week. And then after that I went on to Todmorden Park, and we had a bit of a day out there. Went to the garden centre and had a play around there. So it ended on a high, but it just gradually got there. But,
so what usually happens on a Friday to make it a positive, like ending off positive?
It's just happened that every Friday we've had some good news, or what we do is
Feel Good Friday. We have a Feel Good Friday.
Live stream
on Facebook and stuff.
So we do a live stream on Facebook and Instagram, and
we didn't do it this Friday, did we?
We didn't do it this Friday. We just what we were doing.
We were having a meeting. We were having a strategy meeting, weren't we?
Yeah, we had
Robin coming in. We did like where we're going, what we're doing, what's this forecast, what. So yeah, we're a bit of a.
So it was good to get that out of the way. Well, not out of the way, but good to get that down on paper and actually really understand what we're doing. But then we missed the opportunity to do the Feel Good Friday, and just missed the opportunity to just be us three talking about us week. So yeah, I think that affected me. But we started the week as a positive. So it's going all right.
Good.
What about anyone else? So, how's
My week's been it's been all right actually. Last week it was good. Obviously we're in the Netherlands. We're now European, me and Logan. So yeah, we now drink tea. We stopped coffee. We just drink tea. We know with just out of a glass.
totally cold turkey on
That's
on
it.
coffee now?
Feel a bit shaky, but yeah. So we've been to buy some tea from Tea Woman in Market.
Okay.
So yeah, my week's been good.
You ready for Brexit then?
Ready for Brexit?
Oh, no, I want to stay now. I'm like, no. I want to stay now.
Stay for the tea.
I beat at Netherlands. I'm now European. I want to stay. So yeah, yeah, it's been good. Weekend we're fine. We went out for a family meal to celebrate his engagement. Went down to a restaurant, an Italian in Hebden Bridge. You know what they all used to be, Silly Billy's toy shop.
Oh yeah.
There's an Italian up the stairs, and I went in there. Really nice, yeah. Good time. Other than that, yeah, it's been good. Been great. How about you?
How about you? Yeah.
So my business is called Inspired Marketing, and I've got to be honest, one of the key success factors is that I stay inspired, because if I'm not, then that's kind of like 50% of the inspired marketing missing. And last week I just felt drained. I'm a bit of a people pleaser, so I try to help as many people as possible, and I found that I'd given out lots of energy and not received validation or thanks or anything back, and it left me feeling a bit depleted. So I went to go see my friend on Friday, and she was absolutely brilliant. She listened to me, which she didn't need to say anything, just listening.
Yeah.
That would have been enough. But she told me about this lady called Mel Robbins. I don't know if you've ever heard of her.
I've not heard of them.
And I watched a few of her videos, and I'm a massive fan of TED Talks.
Oh, you like TED
I
Talks,
love
don't
it.
you?
Absolutely love
Oh
it.
my God, this woman, I've just started my spring cleaning.
Yeah.
I've gone from 0 to completely the other way, really motivated.
It's not that.
Our lass does something like that.
My wife does it.
She
as well.
watches something on Instagram or Facebook about, it's a woman that goes around.
Folding clothes.
It's
and
not the
stuff.
cleaning lady.
Oh right, okay.
She's called Mel Robbins, and one of the things that kind of really hit home was about when you turn 18, you're your own parent. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to tell you to do stuff.
You'd
If
have
you
it,
want
right,
to do it, you decide it. And she's written this famous book called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you decide that you're going to do something, you just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it.
Yeah. That sort
Half
of.
my wardrobe on the floor later. Yeah, massive spring clean.
I hoard me. I must have a wardrobe space this big, and I hoard. I've got clothes in there that don't fit me anymore. But I'm like, I'll get into that one day.
Well, that's
or I might
what-
use that for painting.
Yeah, that's what that.
Never use it.
That lady that my wife and your fiance watches, she sort of goes through your clothes, and then in things like that, things that you've hoarded or like things that you've kept for sentimental value.
Yeah.
You should we did it a few weeks ago at home, where I got all t-shirts out and things like that, and then thanked the t-shirt for
Like me telling
the
me.
memory of wearing it.
Okay.
I know it sounds a bit daft, but just saying thanks for the good memory, and then you've got that off your chest, and then we took it to the charity shop.
I was a bit more of a woman on a mission of don't wear that, never like that doesn't make me feel
I bet you never wore it
fantastic.
either, did you? I bet it's in your wardrobe and you never wore it.
Actually, I was pretty good a couple of years ago. I had a massive clear out, and it was of all the new things that with labels
We've never worn.
that never worn. Yeah.
Some of the stuff was just like, oh, I don't like that, but then there was some stuff that were really meaningful.
I'm just a Yorkshire, I'm just too tight to throw it away. One day.
Another thing that really helped me as well is I've got a book called the Daily Greatness Journal.
All right.
And it helps me plan my week out and my schedule, but it also asks a few poignant questions at the end of each week. And so for me, being self-employed, I find that I need to have that fantastic Friday feeling.
Yeah.
And for me, it's on either a Saturday or a Sunday morning, and I take some time out just to reflect on the past week, what's gone well, because you've not got a boss to say, well done and pat you on the back, you've got to do it
You've got
yourself.
to get yourself, yeah.
And it's a bit of a time for reflection of what's gone well, what could I change, what would I do differently, and that really helped me this week, and it's helped me set up my week so that I know that it's going to be a good one.
It's good. We actually talked about that on the last podcast about setting
goals.
Setting goals and setting schedules. My mum actually wrote a story in to us that I've not heard before. and she's kept a journal for like a mood journal for 17 years.
Wow.
And yeah, so she
She's not called what she called Margaret.
she's not called Margaret. I did say she's called Sarah on the podcast. He's called me Mum Margaret, but yeah. So it's about writing down and sort of planning for the week. The week after really helps my mum, and sort of knowing that happy things are coming.
Yeah.
Really helps her.
Yeah.
So like play dates with my daughter, my niece, so my brother's daughter, or meeting her friend Julie, just for having lunch or whatever it is, just to have a talk, and having that in the diary, and knowing that happy times are good times are there.
Yeah.
Sort of helps her sort of forget about the bad days at work or whatever it is. So I really like the idea of writing a plan, writing a journal, writing a schedule to help you get through the week.
And planning nice things. I think that you're completely right. One of the things that I planned to do, and I did, was an old lady that I know. She has had a hip replacement, so she's quite confined to her house.
Yeah.
And I took her a bunch of flowers, and it was one of those from Tesco's that you just smells like spring. It's got like mixed spring flowers. And I did it not completely selfishly, because I wanted to cheer her up, and she's kind of on my radar. But I knew that I'd get a lovely feeling, because I knew that when she smelled them flowers, it'd feel like the outside in, and I knew that I'd feel great. So you're right about planning stuff.
Planning something into it to make you feel better. Yeah. Similar with my grandparents. I mean, we need to go see. We love going to see my grandparents, but my grandparents are completely different people when we take our daughter up. Like, as in,
come alive.
Yeah. I don't know if you a couple like 2 years ago on Channel 4 there was a documentary when they took children into a home. It's exactly like that at my grandparents' house. Just when we go up, if it was just me and my wife, it'd probably be we'd sit down and have coffees and we'd just chat. Where my grandma's had her hip replaced as well, and as soon as we go up, she's on her knees playing with Ola, and having a good time and walking around, and we say, come on grandma, sit down. Nope, stick goes to the side as well. She don't even use a stick when she's there, so it's great. It's a great feeling though, seeing them.
I've got a story about my grandma before we finish.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, and it's about to do this weekend.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll tell you now. Basically, when we went out for something to eat, but on Saturday and Sunday, she was panicking. Oh, I can't find my phone. I've left it in restaurant. Then she was like, oh no, some guy gave me a high five. He's nicked my phone. Turns out she rang us last night. Found my phone. It were in my bag. She swapped up, but she must have been trying her handbag on. Put it in that handbag and thought, oh, I'll take that one. Then last minute thought, no, I don't want that one. I don't want that one. I just picked up another one. Not noticed all night she had it with her. And I'm like, bloody hell. But yeah, it's things, isn't it?
Talking about that, so it was my cousin's little boy's 2nd birthday on Saturday.
Yeah.
And he knows me as like fun Auntie Rach. So when I went in, there were lots of family members and people that I didn't know there. But his expectation of me is I'm just going to get straight down on the floor and play Paw Patrol and everything, get in his tent. And I did. And I suppose, if it hadn't have been for his expectation of, well, you get down on the floor and you play and you have fun, then I'd have been one of the
sat there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They bring it. It's just like a new lease of life, isn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
Good excuse.
Yeah, to have fun. So I've got a bit of a question for you. So about mental health. Has mental health been a part of your life at all? Whether it's been a child, a teenager, or even now as an adult, has mental health ever played a part in your life?
Yeah, huge part. I think that sometimes people can look at me and think, oh, she's dead smiley, she's dead happy, blah, blah, and that's not always the case, and I never fake it. If I'm not okay and somebody says, how are you? I won't say, oh yeah, I'm fine. I don't do that anymore. I was abused by my stepdad for 17 years when I was little, and then when everything came out, my mum got a lot of help and my dad got a lot of help, but I didn't. I struggled because it was quite rare for it to happen for so long and in different areas.
Yeah.
But I made sure that I got counselling and that I sorted myself out, and I can't stress how important it is to sort yourself out so that you can go on and have normal, healthy relationships. And then unfortunately, about 5 or 6 years ago, I was raped, and it was by somebody that I knew, and it was a massive thing because I couldn't trust my own judgment then, because I trusted this person and thought that they were okay and safe, and they weren't. So everything that you need judgment for, whether it be, can I get the water into the glass, can I drive, anything, you can't trust your own judgment. And again, I just tried everything. I tried speaking therapy, I tried like an anger boxer size thing. I was absolutely rubbish at it, and I thought it was quite good, but I was quite scientific, but I opened my mind, and I tried craniosacral therapy. So Kay Reynolds in Hebden Bridge, she delivered it through a charity called Mosaic, and since I've gone back to her, and it's about talking therapy and reading and understanding and a bit of mindfulness, so that as soon as you start having a thought that's going to be a negative one and start spiralling, it's how you actually stop it and then change it into a different thought. But it was amazing. She did, there's some body work involved, not necessarily massage, but similar to massage. So I felt as though I'd got something stuck in my throat a lot. And she did a lot of work on the back of my knees.
Right.
And funnily enough, it went. It was really bizarre, but I think that I was so open to, I want to be okay, that I'd try anything, and I did. I had my chakras cleansed, everything.
Is that through like Reiki?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or something similar.
Something similar,
I'm not au fait with all that type of thing, but
Yeah.
But and that's why I think it's really important now. I'm 39 and I'm comfortable that if I'm not okay, I feel as though it's okay to say I'm
definitely.
not okay.
Yeah.
Like on Friday afternoon, deciding I need to go see my friend and talk and get some advice.
Yeah.
So you need sometimes, don't you? Just we're fortunate we've got each other, and I've got my girlfriend at home, my fiance at home, and if I'm ever I do talk. I talk more than I used to do when I first met her, because when I first met her, I was all balled up and I was a bit tense, but now I do just talk. If I need
But
to.
like sometimes you said sometimes you don't even need a reply.
No,
It just needs someone to just give you that eye contact and just listen and just be that ear to you know. Yeah, that's, you know, so sometimes you don't even need a reply on, oh, let's go do this, or I'll try. That's sometimes all it takes is just that person to sit down and talk. And
sometimes when you say things out loud, you digest it differently to when you've been thinking about it.
Yeah, when it's rolling around in your head.
So when I started saying, I've been doing all this voluntary stuff and I've helped these people and they were grateful, and it made me realise, actually, once you say it out loud, you've got your own answer, haven't you?
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah. Going back to like when you said, we'll talk about coping mechanisms, but back to where you said about it's okay to talk, and about sometimes, you know, just saying, well, not sometimes, but just having a conversation, say I'm not okay, or I'm all right, or my week's been rubbish. That's one of the reasons why we went to the Netherlands, to understand what mental health's like in other countries. And after speaking to some of the local people there, we understand now that everyone, it's a bit of a taboo, but everyone sort of puts that mask on and says that I'm fine. And they say, you know, it's very rare that people will say I'm not okay.
One thing we spoke to a guy in a shop, didn't we, and he spoke about when you asked what we were doing, we were telling him, and he said, oh, it's a bit like this, it's a bit like, you know, when you talk to someone, you say, I'm fine, they expect you to say that, but as soon as you say, well, do you know what, I've had a bit of a shit day. People go like that, oh God, is that time? Well, and that's how it is over there.
And it's still sort of it's still like that a bit over here, really. But that's what we hope to do, is to break that stigma of saying I'm not okay.
I'm a big believer, and I've got a strong faith, and I believe that I've lived lives before. I don't believe that I've been a queen or like that, but I believe that I've probably made mistakes in past lives, and I believe that whether you want to call it a God or a higher power, or there's something there, and I believe that my purpose in this life is to talk about abuse and be open about
Yeah.
it. And do you know what? I'm dead comfortable about it. And when I tell people that I was abused or that I was raped, they're like, oh my God, as if she's just disclosed that to me. Well, why not? And I think that it's because as a society we're giving the perpetrators that power by not talking about it. We don't want people to talk about it. And I think that nowadays, if I feel a little bit anxious sometimes, or if I'm in a certain area or if going to a certain bar, I feel as though it's okay to say to my friends, actually, I don't feel okay. Can I sit there where I can see the door, or can I?
Yeah.
That's going to help me be okay.
Yeah, that's really good that you can do that with your friends. Cause
I just have the balls to do it. And do you know what? The first counsellor I ever had after being abused as a child, she said, I just need to let you know it's not your fault. And I said, I don't think that you're the counsellor for me.
Yeah.
Because as a 4-year-old, no, it wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
And I don't feel as though any of it was. Do you know what I mean? So I feel okay talking about it.
Yeah. Good.
And I'd encourage other people to.
Yeah. To talk about it.
That's one thing you can say as well, though. I had that same feeling when I went to counselling. I didn't gel with my counsellor. So I think if you don't gel, you've got to let them know you don't gel, otherwise they're not going to help.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree.
It's like the blind leading the blind, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, like if you don't want to accept what they're saying, it's not going to work for you, is it?
Yeah.
So you've got to find that right person, because Doug's counsellor actually worked for my wife. So it's a local one in Halifax.
Yeah, we used to say counsellor.
It's a well-known company in Halifax, and it didn't work for Doug because he didn't gel, but it worked for my wife because they gelled. So you know, it's about it's good that Doug actually noticed that and said this isn't working, like you said. It's not going to work, and then find a thing that's going to work for you, even if it's five people later. You need to find that right one, don't you? Going into like what Doug said about coping strategies, was there anything that helped you growing up through that time as a coping strategy, or was it? Would you say it's after? Or we've talked a bit about coping strategies in like with the Reiki and things like that. Was there anything else?
Coping strategies. I'm going to be dead honest. I just wanted to escape. Completely escape. So for me, my idea of how I was going to escape was that I was going to become a lawyer and work in London. So I'll tell you what, I wasn't the brightest in the class by any means, but I was definitely the most hardworking, because I'll tell you what, that is a bloody motivation. And for me, it was throwing myself into my studies. It was a bit of escapism, and it was so that I could see a way forward and how I was going to get out of this situation. After the rape, I ended up having to move back in with my mum and dad.
Right.
And I was a nervous wreck, and it was things like not having the curtains open because I couldn't control things happening outside. But coping strategies that really helped me was Pinterest. It's a social media, and I'd go on and I'd look at motivational sayings and go on websites and things like that. So I spent a lot of time doing that and collecting those, and
like
it helped.
creating boards and stuff like that.
It really helped with my anxiety of whether it was meditation, guided meditations, sayings, and then I'd do that on a night, and then in the morning, when I woke up, I knew that getting up would be difficult. So I'd got a bit of a strategy of, I'm going to make a peppermint tea, then I'm going to go on my phone and I'm going to look at Pinterest, and that's going to motivate me then to be able to take the next steps.
Just like get a bit of a routine going.
Breaking things down and just being dead honest with myself of, I'm not going to be getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, going to the gym and do it. That's not happening. And acknowledging it's okay to, if I do feel like that, it's okay, but this is how I'm going to slowly bring myself out of it to feel okay.
It's good. It's really good. It's just a really tough thing to talk about, and I'm glad that you really feel comfortable in talking about it, especially with us two as well.
I think we are quite comfortable, aren't we? As because we do know you out of the podcast, obviously. And I think one of my first things, the conversation with, obviously I told you my story, Logan told you, and then you told yours. But then we went away and talked about business and how we can network and stuff. And one of the things that always stood out for me, and I went home and told my fiance, was how you describe networking. And they were like, did she just say that?
Oh, good.
Me and him were like, did she just say that? So Rachel described, when we first started networking, we were like, well, what do we do? And Rachel just comes on, it's just like a shag. And we're like, what? So, do you want to explain
I
that?
didn't quite say that.
Me and him looked at each other like, what?
I said that sometimes you'll go to networking and people try to sell to you, and they'll be like, oh, hi, you need a computer, I've got a computer, I'm going to sell a computer to you. And they've not gelled, they've not built that bond, have they? Not built that relationship. And I was saying that it's like, you know, if I was in a bar and I was single, and I said, oh, I'm single, and a chap came up and said, oh, I'm single, and if he said to me, do you fancy a shag? I'd be like, no, because you've not built up that bond. And that's what networking is about. You don't just buy from people. They don't kind of identify, oh, you've got a need, that's it.
Yeah.
You've got to do the dance. And just like with dating, you'd send a text, you'd have a phone call, you'd have a coffee, you'd go for a drink, you'd go out for a meal or have a bit of a longer meeting. You'd send flowers, you'd send a letter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do that with building a relationship as well. You can't just go in and ask for the shag.
That conversation sticks in my head all the time. Whenever I think, like, whenever at work and I'm like, oh God, it's not going that way today. I just remember that. And I'm like, I haven't done it enough. I need to carry on going.
It's a relationship. And now that I've said that, you might be in situations where you're networking and somebody comes over to you, and sometimes, I'm not generalising that, but they might be pale, male and scale. I kind of come over and with the halitosis and selling to you. Yeah. And it makes you just smile inside thinking, you're not having a shag.
Not just yet. That's his chair, by the way.
It's my chair squeaking.
He keeps doing that.
All the time. It really sticks in my head because we're not from business, and like when we were sat around that table up at the Elsie Whiteley Centre, it sometimes needs someone to talk to you that's
just normal.
Or just that's not got that business talk, but yeah. So it were really good that. Right, Rachel, what's in the future? What's the plans for the future for you? Happiness. That's good.
Happiness.
Yeah.
And success. So for me, the idea of success is being a good wife, being a good mum, and having a successful business so that I can help other people. Yeah. And we're getting there. So Sean and I were getting married in August this year. So hopefully we'll start trying for children once we're married. And business-wise, I've got quite a few opportunities at the moment, and it's nice being in a position where you can say you're not the right people. You've not got the same values, or I'd like to take this project. Potentially I might be just working for 3 months and absolutely working my backside off. But it's going to be worth it then, because I know that I can do other things with the rest of the year, because it'll give me that freedom. Good.
Sounds great. Sounds really good.
Definitely.
I like the goal of happiness. It's great.
That's all you need. That's all you need in life.
We've done a few interviews and asked about what's in the future, and a lot of the times it is just, well, I'm doing this for my business. No one's ever replied with happiness. That's a great reply. Thank you. Right, well, I think it's time that we need to wrap this up, because it's getting close to your next
Rich is
meeting.
going for a massage.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I was just going to say it's time for your next meeting, but meeting the masseuse. And we need to get off to our next meeting. So it's been great chatting to you, and I've really enjoyed it. And
I have.
Thank you for.
Thank you. A bit short notice, I know, wasn't it?
Don't worry. Thank you.
Message Rachel yesterday at 4:30 saying we've got a spot. Can you come on? And here you are.
Yeah. Mary Poppins saves the day.
Thank you very much.
Just a reminder that if anyone's got any questions or stories that they want to tell us, please do email it into info@unmaskedmentalhealth.co.uk. And if I watch a lot of YouTube and a lot of podcasts, and I wanted to stay away from this one, but if you could like it and subscribe and share to everyone, and to get this podcast out there and to get this out to your friends and family, it's great to just have a chat. So if you could do that, that'd be great.
Can I ask something?
Yeah, do it.
Can you put some pictures on from Amsterdam last week, just as it's rolling out?
I could possibly do that. Yes.